Welcome back, everybody. We are here for segment 2 of our look into the summer instant match point game for the ACBL. Gavin, we're doing boards 11 through 20 once again here. How are you?
I'm good. We're past most of the crazy 7-5s. I think there is one maybe 6-5 in this set, but at least we get some normal hands to discuss for these next 10.
And don't forget, as we were crafting these hands and getting this together, we had our Legends panel with us who were chiming in on the hands that we had questions on. So we brought them in whenever we got to the, oh, what the heck am I supposed to do moments. We gave those to them as well just to share the misery. And they came back with some great answers. So we'll be going to them pretty frequently, especially I think in this segment here, buddy. But let's jump into the action on board number 11, and we see that always what you're going to see first is our suggested auction in the upper left, and then we'll have some discussion as we go. But here we are on number 11, Gavin. After two passes, North has a one diamond opening bid, and then we
Ugly,
go from
ugly
there.
12 count there. Is it 12?
It is
It
12, in
somehow
fact.
adds up to
Yeah,
12 with all those jacks and queens. But in
exactly.
third chair, I would open all 12 counts all the time, and I
100%.
don't overthink it. But this one's an ugly one. But in third chair, I would be thrilled to open a diamond, get
Yep.
that diamond lead from partner, and make it a little bit tougher on my opponent.
And it provides East a nice takeout double. Right, just a opening hand. I have support in all the suits, and honestly, they have 4-4 in the majors. That's pretty terrific. Whenever you get that, and South responds a normal one spade. Remember, that's just 4+ there, folks. That's not anything different than normal.
And it's forcing. It's like just a completely normal one spade bid. But the the reason we're bidding a spade in the face of the takeout double is it's entirely possible when they double one diamond, they don't promise 4-4 in the
Yeah,
majors. They just
exactly.
they promise at least three cards in each majors.
Right.
There's
They may only have
if
three of these spades, also.
very often our opponents are going to have a 4-4 heart fit, and we're going to need to find our 4-4 spade fit to compete against them. And if we don't bid a spade now, it's going to get more expensive. Like you can imagine, we pass and it goes one heart, pass two hearts, or we pass and it goes two hearts, and we
Yeah.
even if they bid two clubs, we're still like might have a spade fit that we want to play, and it's too late if we don't bid a spade. So
Well,
even though we have this ugly four card spade suit, it's still right to do it, and it does not work out amazingly well for us on this hand.
well, it
So
works out in that this is a classic support double situation, unfortunately, for North South here. West has a free bid. Notice, folks, you should definitely be getting in here with this hand because you actually have values and you get to show these values. If you were to be bidding just hearts at the lowest level in response to the double, it's 0 to 8 ish. Here, you're showing some values. You have four hearts. Get on in there, and it produces this. Practice your support doubles. Did you get it right, folks? If you didn't, don't worry. You'll get it right maybe the next few times. And then South,
just
unfortunately, go,
before
Gavin.
before I just want to talk a little bit more about that free bid before we get to South. It's just
Sure.
I think people have this misconception that you need a stronger hand to free bid two hearts in this spot.
No.
And the thing you have to keep in mind is that your partner's got an opening hand. And if your partner has an opening hand and you have 6 points, that means you know the deck is split. We have at least half the points. And so if we don't bid, and imagine they raise to two spades on our left, it's a similar thing. We haven't told partner we're here.
Yep.
Partner already made their takeout double. It is critical that you're making this free bid of two hearts. It is
Bingo.
such an important bid. It is so important to compete for the part score, and especially when your partner's done the dirty work of getting into the
Yeah, yeah,
auction
and
that
showing
you
their
are.
hand quite well.
Yeah, and you need to be supportive and make those free bids. It's if you don't do it, you're going to get shut out on so many hands. The opponents are just going to win the part score battles all day long against you. So you got to
Yeah.
get in those free bids opposite partners takeout double.
So after that nice support double, East doesn't really have anything to say there. They've already made their takeout double, and South has an issue, right? They are at the two level. They certainly don't have anything they can bid. They're not going to be bidding two no trump here, for goodness sakes. They only have a 9 count. So sometimes you have to just agree to play a 7 card fit at the two level. And that's what would happen here. And it would be unfortunate because you're eating your spades right into Ace King Jack 10 fourth. and I didn't mean to say eating, but I meant to say they're going to eat your entire spade suit with that holding there, unfortunately.
You honestly won't do so badly on this hand.
No, I mean, you can play it like
You're
a no
gonna
trump hand
take
eventually.
some tricks. You're gonna take three clubs, and they're probably gonna lead a heart. So you're gonna take the king of hearts as
Yeah.
four. You'll take a heart
You
rough in
take
your
at least
hand as
one diamond.
five, and a diamond is six. So you're gonna get
Yeah.
out for minus 100, and the opponents can make 2 hearts. So you could survive on this hand, even playing this ridiculous
Sure.
4-3 fit.
Yeah, for sure. But honestly, the most important two things are, first off, bid as the South player, and then as the West player also. Don't be afraid to get in there and show your hands. All right, let's jump on to number 12. All right, lots of fun concepts at play here, Gavin. First off, luckily for the South player, being that when a preemptive action has occurred, every subsequent double by that side should be penalty. And you see two very normal bids, other than maybe the North players. Some people might open one diamond, I suppose, with the North hand because it's so good. But
It's a very strong hand.
Second seed vulnerable should be the epic king of all preempts. So this is kind of a normal action, we feel. And then two spades. Oh, really? You want to play spades and I have this hand as the South player? I think we can find a penalty double of that. And then we see the elusive SOS double with the West hand. What are you thinking as West here, Gavin?
Well, you're in trouble, right? Yeah. They've opened 2 diamonds and partners overcalled your singleton. You have no points and you have no support for your partner. So you know that we're in deep trouble here in 2 spades.
And can I just say one thing, Gavin? You know it's bad when that double comes very, very, very quickly at your table, most likely. Doubles on the table with a vapor trail on it.
Yeah, for sure. So you look at your hand and you think, is there a better place for us to play? And it's pretty scary to me running away from partner's bid. Like, I don't like doing this liberally. Same. But when you have 5-5 in the other 2 suits, the chances of improving the contract beyond to get us out of this contract that we know our right-hand opponent is thrilled to be defending, it seems like the right approach to make this SOS redouble. And you might say, what is an SOS redouble, or how does that work? Basically, redouble is the opposite of whatever their double means.
Yeah.
So if they're doubling us for penalty, redouble means get me out of here.
Yeah, save me.
If they're doubling for takeout, redouble means I've got the goods.
Yeah, when
they're in trouble.
Let's double them, basically.
Yeah. Yes. So it's just the redouble is always the opposite of a takeout double. That's the thing that you can remember.
Yeah, and this it's a jackpot because they find actually a 9-card heart fit instead, and now South just has to sit there and go.
South is so bummed. Like, and I've been in this spot before because you had this opportunity to just defend 2 spades. If you just kept your mouth shut and didn't double them for penalty, you were just gonna get to play 2 spades with ace king 9 8 6 the trump, and now your opponents have found a heart fit.
And they didn't run the clubs; they ran to hearts.
I will say, if you were the South player and you said to yourself before you doubled 2 spades, you said, I'm pretty happy defending 2 spades, and I only have 1 heart. And my partner opened a weak 2 diamonds, and I know my partner doesn't like opening 2 diamonds with a 4-card major. So it looks like the opponents have a 9-card heart fit. Maybe I'm better off not doubling 2 spades for penalty.
About that. Sorry.
Really? It definitely goes through my mind. It does, for sure.
It's too seductive. I
have a stiff heart.
But I also have a 16 count. I have a 16 count. Come on, let's go. My partner is disciplined. Maybe I don't know.
All of you people out there that didn't double 2 spades and you did it for that reason, you've done well.
I bow to your amazingness. But if you find your 9-card heart fit, you did darn well also with these East-West cards here, and we will let you enjoy the benefits of that also. So let's hop on to the next board. And that's lucky number 13 here, Gavin, which for us it seems like a pedestrian auction, even though one player still has a void. But we see a nice, strong, unbalanced hand in the East chair, and a good way to describe it. And another misfit, but they find their way to 3-no trump here.
So with 18 points, that's normally not quite enough for a strong jump shift. Normally you'd want to have 19, because when opener jumps in a new suit on their second turn, they're forcing to game. And 18 opposite 6 isn't quite a force. So you got to be careful making those very aggressive strong jump shifts. But this 6-4 hand with nice cards, king, queen, jack of clubs, we're 6-4-3.
Yeah.
There's lots of things about this hand that I really like, that really make it look more like that 19 that you would really need for the strong jump shift. People that think 3 clubs is just a 16 to 18 point hand, like had we rebid 3 spades, that's definitely wrong. When opener makes a strong jump shift, it shows 19 plus.
Yeah, 2 clubs would equal 12 to 18, basically. That's your rebid at the 2 level, folks, right? And so it's wider than you think. And that's why we reserve these jump shifts for these massive hands. And of course, It's not surprising that West had bid a no trump and also wants to bid hearts on this hand. The opponents haven't said a damn thing about that suit. And now East just kind of has to have this uncomfortable spot where they're bidding no trump with a void, which is never like you don't love doing that, but where are you going to go from here, right?
Well, the thing is that you could try bidding your spades again over hearts.
Oh, that's
The issue
so
is that
risky.
what the problem I have with it is you're the one who's got the double diamond stopper. And so it might be only you that can bid 3 no trump. So partner might have some hand with a singleton spade and no diamond stopper, and they're not going to be willing to bid
Or
3
no club
no over
stopper
3
also.
spades. They're right. So I think that 3 spades can lead to the wrong contract too frequently. So I think it's better for East to just
Yeah, I said
bid
no club
3 no
stopper.
trump.
We bid clubs. That's not what they're looking for there, obviously. The diamond stopper's the one we're looking at. But yeah, here we go. There's our game. And is it going to make here is the question. It
Yeah,
looks
so
like
there's
we
a
can
few
scrape
interesting
together some tricks.
there are a few interesting things about the play. The King of Hearts lead, start there, where South is going to have to tell their partner, don't keep playing hearts because it's going to blow tricks. So I think that we'll throw a spade from dummy.
Here,
You could throw a club, but throwing a spade makes sense because you're gonna. I think the plan is going to be to duck this trick, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing is by letting them hold the King of Hearts. And by the way, that opening lead is interesting because there is an unbid suit of Jack 10 fifth of diamonds. So you're deciding between leading the unbid suit or King Queen 10 8 fourth of hearts. But I think it's really important that we pop the King of Hearts on the table. We know what's going to happen is they're going to let us hold it because all the hearts are on our right. And now at least partner knows what to play.
Yeah, and here they
when
would
they
probably
get back
discourage
in.
hearts, and just as standard carding here, they would probably say, "Hey, partner, I probably don't like hearts, or I don't have anything for you in this particular suit." You think West would just duck this hand?
West will just duck it,
Yeah.
and now North has to read that 2 of hearts and say, "Okay, I'm not going to play a heart because I know I'm going to be feeding Declarer's Ace Jack."
Yep.
And instead, West is going to shift, and the suit to shift to here is diamonds.
Yeah,
that's going to be the practical suit. So they play diamond.
Will they play the jack or a low one? That's the question.
I think, yeah, they're both okay, but I would probably lead low. Yeah, and now West has got to start the business of unraveling things.
So
I think they're going to
win in their hand and cash the spade.
I would say they win in dummy. I think they win in dummy to keep that diamond entry.
Okay.
Yeah, and lead a spade over.
Yeah, that makes more sense for the future. And then a spade to the king.
Yeah. And now a club to dummy.
Yeah,
I would say a club to dummy.
Creating tricks in dummy while also transporting. They would win this and probably pump.
They would, although it definitely would be harder to get the hand right if they ducked. But yeah, I think it would be more normal to win and then play back a heart because you know your partner's got King Queen 10 of hearts.
Yeah.
And so now Declare probably actually wants to duck this again because what happens is in order to make this hand, they've got to set up the spades, and they're worried that if the person to set up the spade with, if South has the Queen of Spades, then if you pop up with the Ace of Hearts, actually, let's just show them what happens if you pop up with the Ace of Hearts here.
Sure.
You pop up with the Ace of Hearts, and you go across the dummy's club. You can pitch the club, pitch a club, and you go across to a club.
And they shake a diamond here.
Yeah, and we win the club. And now we're going to go and we're going to try to set up spades. We're going to play ace of spades. We need to set up spades to make our contract.
Yeah,
but now, because South has another heart, when they win their Queen of Spades, we're going to go down. They're going to win it. And now that they have the heart, they will play it through our jack, and we're going to lose 2 heart tricks. There we go.
It doesn't matter.
So if we jump back to that trick after they won the Ace of Clubs, it's about 5 tricks ago.
All right, we're back at that spot here.
So instead, at this point in the hand, what if West just, they know the King Queen of Hearts are offside, but if they just cover, now they've kind of maintained their stopper.
Yep.
You can see that now North has won the heart, but now we're in a position where we can set up the spade, and then they can't enjoy their hearts. We're going to end up losing
us with hearts from that side of the table. So they have.
It's about managing that safe opponent. Yeah, it was a very interesting hand. It's the same idea. Now we play ace of spades and a spade. They're going to win the queen. Yep. But now when they play a heart, we have an answer.
Exactly. We hop ace, and then we scoop all of our tricks, and we're done. That's board 13. Interesting play on that. And a nice 3-0 with a void, basically. That's always a tough hand to deal with because the transportation is always weird. All right, let's at the next hand. 14 is next. And here we see a good jump rebid by the East player here. A diamond and another stretch response by West, which is kind of a theme for us here. Very important. And this would be one I would always be bidding with as a West player here.
You have a 5-card major, and again, we're not vulnerable. When you're not vulnerable, opening up your range for responding is going to work out very, very well for you. It's going to make it hard on your opponents. You're being a tough opponent when you're responding light on hands like this, because in today's day and age, we're battling for the part scores. We're trying to block the opponents out of the bidding. And that one spade bid stops them from getting in there with hearts a lot of times.
And it
Now,
can
not on this end.
establish your boss fit too. Like that highest level trump fit is amazing here in competitive auctions.
Yeah, you definitely won the hand by bidding a spade. You found your spade fit. You didn't get the game, though. You might actually make 10 tricks on this hand.
The West hand does have some nice cards for East, as it turns out. But this is our classic rebid. It should show like a good 16 to 18 in my book, Gavin. This jump rebid of spades. It just says we have a fit, and I have around that number of points.
Yeah, you have 18. Normally, you like to add points for your shortness, but you can't go counting the king of clubs for 3 points and then also counting points for the shortness.
Right.
That's just double counting the same values. So, yeah, so I look at that hand like it's 18 and bid 3 spades.
Same. Yep, love it. And that is that board right there, number 14. Let's hop on to number 15. All right, so we think this is a pretty normal auction on this hand, Gavin. We had a question with if we were sitting as the South player and we saw this no trump, Stayman, 2 diamonds, 2-no, which is very normal. What are we going to lead with the South hand? That's a tough one. You have just such a difficult hand to deal with.
I love this hand. We knew it was a tough lead, but we gave it to the panel, and you got to see these responses. All awesome. 4 suits were led.
Yeah, they led clubs, they led hearts, they led diamonds. Queen of spades was one of the choices, which was interesting. And that's your choice here after you see this no trump auction. Most of them chose the 3 of clubs, which seemed kind of normal.
Well, it's interesting because, we're all top 4th best from our longest and strongest, and our longest and strongest is diamonds on this hand.
Yeah.
But the thing is, then this is a very important concept, is when you're leading from queen 10-4, if you catch your partner with the jack, you're happy. If you catch your partner with the king, you're happy. And if you catch your partner with the ace, you're happy.
Yep.
When you lead from king 4th of diamonds, if you catch your partner with the queen, you're happy. And if you catch your partner with the ace, you're happy. But if you catch your partner with the jack, it's not very good.
Yeah.
So there's more times where leading from queen 10-4 will succeed than king 4th. So that's the reason why I think that the majority of our panel have led clubs.
Right. Well, we see the 6 of hearts from John Hurd, and we see the queen of spades from Brad. They're kind of going for it with these.
They're kind of going for it, but on the other side, remember our right-hand opponent does not have a major.
4-card major, right?
So leading from queen 10-4 or leading from king 4 into the hand that doesn't have a major is often gonna work out badly. So I think that they were in one sense going for it. In the other, I think they were just like trying not to blow their own minor suit tricks.
I guess what I mean by going for it is they're going against kind of the traditional lead that everyone else is thinking about, which honestly that's why they're who they are most of the time. And let's take a look. Who wins on this hand? Is it a club lead? Is it a heart lead? Or would it be that queen of spades? Queen of spades looks pretty darn good.
Looks like the queen of spades is the winner. They do have a second club stopper there. Or sorry, excuse me, spade stopper with 10-9-4.
Yeah, the 10-9-4 and dummy does end up kind of hooking them up. But it creates
you don't blow any tricks by leading the queen of spades, and you are starting to set up yours and your partner's tricks by leading the queen of spades. That looks like the winner. The club lead doesn't blow anything.
Yeah, it's kind of the same position that they can take care of themselves if they choose to. It just guesses that quickly.
And even the diamond lead doesn't turn out to blow anything. You're still going to get your king of diamonds at some point in the hand. So heart lead doesn't look amazing. Heart lead actually starts the path of Declare maybe setting up a second heart trick.
Yeah, it gives them a little bit of time there because they are breaking 3-3, and now maybe you see a lead and a return here, and now you just have 2 heart tricks right after trick 2.
Right.
Interesting. But yeah, I like those lead problems for those guys, and we saw definitely some variance there. Very cool stuff. All right, let's look at number 16, folks. Okay, this was another question we had. Here's our suggested auction. We think this is pretty much like the way it's going to go. But our question was, what would we do as the North player? And more importantly, what would some of our experts choose to do as the North player?
It's just such a difficult hand. You know, if you
You're
are
not
gonna
vulnerable.
open, if you open a heart, you're really distorting your shape. You're gonna Partner will never believe us that we have more clubs than hearts after we
Yeah,
open a
yeah,
heart.
yeah.
And our clubs are our best suit. But the problem is that if we open a club and our partner responds to spade, we're gonna lose the heart suit. We're not really strong enough to reverse to two hearts. So it's really it's a this is an impossible problem. So often, and it's funny because people are always looking for absolute answers, and they're looking for rules to follow. Like when you're 6'5", you should always open the higher of the two suits or whatever. But there's no blanket answer for these hands. You have to look at them each individually and
Yeah,
decide whether the
and
suits will be easily biddable. Like when you have
yeah, that's
hearts
the
and
big one.
clubs, it's scary because partners very often going to respond to spade.
Yeah,
But if our five hearts were spades, I would imagine that the panel would all have opened one club, because now you feel comfortable that
yeah.
you could open a club, your partner's probably going to
You
bid a
just have
red
a one
suit,
spade.
and you could
Yep,
bid a spade.
yep.
But here with hearts, we're really worried that we're going to lose the heart suit. So quite a few of our panel, and they commented that they're just much happier passing with this hand.
Well, all the
And
passers were in general saying, "Look, it's so much easier to show this hand the second time around. Usually, if I get to make a two suited bid, which you can totally sympathize with." I was surprised that we had so many one club bidders, just because. Here's my general rule: if I have some sort of strength, even just a full opening hand, I'm comfortable reversing when I'm 6'5". But
mhm.
if I'm like less than that, like a hand like this, and I think it was Herdman that answered, if I'm playing with an expert, I will open a club, and if I'm playing with maybe a more advancing player who's not as seasoned, I'll open a heart. And
Or pass. No, no, he also might have
or
passed.
pass.
Yeah,
Sorry, or pass. Yes, you're
yeah.
right. But I mean, I kind of can embrace the maybe I'll open a heart and rebid clubs in some weird spots. But honestly, the passers, you might just get to show both these suits when you get back in.
Yeah, some interesting comments from the rest of the passers is Joe said that he has a nice hand, and if he had six hearts and five clubs, he would definitely open a heart. It's not about the
Yep.
strength of the hand, it's about the ease of bidding it. And all three of them, Joe, Brad, and Larry, the passers in there, Joe's not listed there, and I guess
Yeah,
Chip.
yeah. I have Marty in there instead
Yeah.
this time.
All of them suggested that this hand will be so much easier to bid as a passed hand with either
Exactly.
unusual two-no trump or Michaels, depending on how
Or
the
maybe
auction
they can
plays
get in
out.
with both of their bids, knowing that they have passed originally. Now they can't. They don't have to worry about showing too many points because they've already limited their ceiling there. Very interesting stuff. But
Right. So
as we
after
can
the
see,
pass,
yeah,
we still have an issue because they open a spade and partner overcalls two
yeah,
diamonds, and now it
no,
goes pass, and we still haven't mentioned either of our suits. But now we suggested to prioritize the major. We're
agreed.
not going to really
Yeah.
be able to get both of our suits in at this point anyway. So you can bid two hearts. Although, yeah, you could bid three clubs. I think that
Sure,
would have been an okay bid. But
sure. I mean,
after
it's
two
hard to know what's
hearts,
to do everywhere here, but now East just kind of takes control and rebids their spade, and South says, "Look, man, if you're gonna bid two at the two level freely here, and I have this
right? I have
hand,
17 opposite 9 or
I
10. We're
can
going to
try
make
to
a
win a
game.
game."
Yeah.
And it is amazingly friendly. If you take three spade tricks, that's all you're getting. If you don't take three spade tricks, that's all you're getting probably. And
Yeah,
the club
they can
suit
take
is
the first. Oh, the
suit's
clubs are
okay with
breaking
that. Yeah,
badly.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So yeah, they won't take too many, but you'll take enough. All
And
right.
some East, by the way, might, in opposite a past partner, have opened a weak bid of some sort, like two spades.
For sure,
In which
actually, that's I forgot to ask that. Like two or maybe even if you're crazy, three spades. But
Vol
two
against
spades
not,
seems
I don't
enough.
think three's in the game, but
No,
two is
especially because you might just
possible.
buy it for two sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. So I like it, and if it did go two spades, South would still probably overcall three diamonds, pass three hearts, pass three no, and so you'd still
Magic.
probably get there.
Alrighty. Well, that is all she wrote for board number 16. Let's get to 17. Now some sane bridge here, Gavin. Just a normal one level auction to another one no trump contract, which again, toughest contract to play for a reason. You're you're playing one no trump from the south player's position on this hand. How are we gonna fare?
It's a pretty annoying hand. The bidding, I think, would be pretty routine at most tables: a diamond, a heart, a spade, and no trump. Although
Makes a lot of
some
sense.
norths may play some system where they don't have to bid their spade on the way. They might rebid one no trump. But I think majority of the room are bidding this hand the same way. And
Yep.
West has an interesting opening lead problem because on the one side you really like to lead the unbid suit, but on the other you have Jack 10 9 8, which is sequences are
Yeah.
usually pretty safe, good leads, especially at match points where you're not gonna, and you know the club stoppers are coming on your right. So I would lead the Jack of Hearts. And this is just again a really difficult hand to play. These one
Yeah.
knows where you have about half the deck and you don't know which suits to set up. Uh, it turns out on this hand the winning line of play was to attack
Yeah.
spades,
But
but
diamonds it looks pretty juicy
diamonds
from the
is pretty
spot.
attractive, and also clubs is what's the difference? Like why not
Sure.
play clubs? So
Sure.
I think a normal thing to do would be to win the ace of hearts and play. By the way, I would actually win. Yeah, win the ace. It's funny. You can win the queen or you can win the ace,
Yeah.
and one of them is going to tell information. You typically want to win the queen
Right.
here,
Just to not let them know where the king is. Like you're
yeah,
thinking
that way
about
East
this.
doesn't know
Right.
exactly.
Right.
West is going to know because their partner would
Partner
win the
didn't win the
king if they
king.
had
Yeah.
it. But you would never pop up with the ace without the king.
Right.
You'd always try your finesse,
Yep.
right? So the ace tells everybody you have the king. The
Yep.
queen at least keeps it quiet and from the non-opening leader.
And for us, it's
they
not
don't
going to
know
matter.
yet.
We're going to take all three tricks, so we can take them in any order. We take them in the order that deceives them most. And here, honestly, I think what you were going to say is a diamond toward the queen.
I think a
makes
diamond
sense.
up. I don't know if it's
Same.
the right play or not, but it's
It
instinctively
feels like what most people
where
would
you
do also, because it feels like that's what I would first be drawn to.
So now I think it's going to be uncomfortable for West to play a club back, which is, I think, their best play. I
Yeah.
think that they're probably going to continue hearts.
Yeah, because it looks
Although, if
safe
they
and
did stop and count the points,
yes.
they know that South has the king of hearts. They know that South has the queen of diamonds. That's 5 points.
Yeah.
So there's not really room in South's hand for them to have both the ace queen of clubs.
It's
That
good
would give
because they
them
would have
11,
That's
which
right.
would be
So
enough for them to jump to 2 no
they
trump.
could realize
So
partner had a club honor there. Interesting.
West
So
should
if we rewind
reason.
this is a nice deduction here if they can make it. Right?
Yeah.
They would split these honors and dummy, you think, or they would just play low? They probably would.
Yeah, they can split it and it was going to go queen, but the damage is done. The defensive set up their club tricks. That
Yep.
8 of clubs was just the other card that West needed
Yep.
to set up the
All
clubs.
three
King,
clubs,
Jack, 7 are
basically.
all good.
Yeah. Amazing.
And now they might duck, they might not, but now there's no chance of making the hand.
Well, this gives you a really great understanding of and let me just go back to the very beginning and talk about just West there. If we isolate here, they don't know everything, but they know that South doesn't have more than 10 points basically. They can't, right? So as we start taking tricks on this hand, we will see that, as Gavin said, they can't have room for that number of points, and it's a super interesting spot there. All right, anything else, buddy?
Well, I saw only one path to making one no, and they had one more chance. It was good, but we kind of jump back into play. We can go back through it. Is if you did lead the Jack of Hearts and they did win the queen, and they played a diamond to the queen and ace.
Yep.
And we played back another heart. If we don't find the club shift and we play another heart, now is when, if we play a spade from dummy, we might be able to 2 spade tricks. That's where, if you're looking at yeah,
it seems super unlikely that it seems like we're double dummying that. It's just from this point.
Yeah.
Just what they might be seeing at the table there. But I mean, if you made one no trump, you did amazing. If you figured out from the West player's chair what we did, you were even better there. Very cool stuff. And one no trump is the most interesting hand. That's why we've talked about it more than once in this broadcast here. All right, let's take a look at the next one. All right, number 18 here, and another part score battle. Not really a battle, sorry, just north-south finding 2 spades in this hand.
Similar auction to the last hand. It starts a diamond, a heart, a spade.
Yeah.
But now North actually has a spade fit. And when you have 10 points, I've been seeing a lot of people treat 10-point hands as invitations. And I've been trying to talk people down from that a little bit, because when you're playing pair games and match point games, whether it's the instant match point game or any typical match point game you play on BBO or in any of these, they're they're a game of plus scores. To there's not an advantage to bidding game,
Yeah, it's
aggressive
not like
games.
imps.
You really the advantage is taking a lot of tricks, and whether you're in two making a good number of tricks or you're in this pushy four making that same number of tricks, it's not going to make that big of a difference to the game.
Yep,
But you're going to find that by taking it easy and going a little lower and securing plus scores, when things do break badly for you, you're basically securing yourself a good board by playing a cheaper contract. So I would say that a good
well,
piece of advice is that when you have 10-point hands, don't be so aggressive
for sure,
opposite
especially
partners
because
opening.
we're opening all 12s also, so you might just get to a level you can't afford there. My question for you is the West Hand. I mean, in match point specifically, are you balancing white red here ever with the West Hand?
No, no, I would not be getting involved. We
Even
only have
though
three
this is
cards in the
almost one
Unbid
of those
suit.
automatic, like we want to balance in these spots and match points where white red. No, not enough. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good to know. So North South will play a pretty comfortable two spades here. It looks like just an ace of clubs lead, right? And how many losers do they have? They do have a diamond loser.
Yeah,
They're gonna have to handle some
as long as
stuff.
they're careful, they can hold this hand to losing one spade, two clubs, and one diamond.
That would be
But
nice.
these four forfeits are touch and go. I think that it'll the key to making this hand is not letting the opponents draw a third round of trumps. So you're really going to want to do a little bit of business before you do all the trump drawing. So
Yep.
I think that a lot of defenders are going to make this a little easier for the declare by playing the ace king of clubs. That will
Yep.
help declare quite a bit. But if the defense starts with the ace of clubs and let's say shifts to a heart, then the declarer
Ends up being
they want to
lovely for
start
them.
letting yeah it doesn't help declare but declare rather than getting straight to drawing trumps wants to kind of establish their clubs
Yeah.
and try the diamond finesse a little bit earlier so that you don't run yourself into the position where after you've taken your trump finesse and after you've drawn the second round of trumps that then you let them in and they bang that king of spades on the table. That's
Yeah,
usually
your
your
flexibility
downfall at
goes
these
away
four forfeits.
for
Yeah.
sure. All right. Well, that is board 18. We have two more to go in this set, and let's get to them. Board 19 is next. 19, we had a question about the north hand here, especially. What do we do when the auction starts one heart by west, and we have this nice 16 that we could do a couple of different things with here. What what would be your vote on this one, Gavin, if you were sitting there, north, white, red?
It's a really tough hand, but I definitely I think the problem with doubling with the north hand is that you don't really have a strong enough hand to show a really strong hand in support of partner's spades. You're four
Right.
three three three,
You might not
so
want to raise if they bid a spade. You
yeah
mean?
I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not quite strong enough, so I'd rather just get my 15 to 17 or 15 to 18 across by overcalling an outro. I think that was my first instinct when I saw that north hand, and
And that was our
just for
question
what
to the experts.
yeah, for what
Sorry,
it's
go.
worth, West may have opened one no trump. We decided not to
Good
upgrade
point.
this particular 14 count because it's aceless. It's kind of a quacky hand. It doesn't look like such a great 14 count, so that's why which we don't tend to do very
Yeah,
often.
true.
We
We
kind of
both would
auto upgrade with
maybe auto
14, but
upgrade there.
this one was a little
Well,
bit
it produces a
worse.
nice choice for North here, and we think most people would tend to open a heart with the West Hand anyway, and that's why we tried to kind of predict a likely action in most of these auctions, and here we see that most of our legends are bidding a no trump. A couple of players are doubling, which we definitely can have sympathy for here as well. But I think what you said is interesting. You know, you're in a weird kind of no man's land when partner responds to spade in spots like that. And there we go. If this happens, I think East has a pretty normal two heart bid, right?
Oh
They
yeah,
know
you're
it's
happy to
just
bid too hard.
you probably have half the deck. You know you have an 8 card fit. It's just the law of total tricks in action, and that should be where we end it. North has nothing more to say, and South certainly isn't going to enter this auction.
Yeah, it turns out South will do quite well to enter. The North
Okay.
South can actually make some number of diamonds
Yeah, they
with
have
the
a nice
clubs
8 card fit.
3-3 and the king of diamonds on side. Like
Yeah,
you only have three club losers and a heart. If you the hard part is finding your way to dummy. It may look attractive to play ace king of spades and a spade rough, but
but they're
that's
going to
going to get
over
over
rough you.
rough by
Yeah.
West. So the way you have to battle your way to dummy is by roughing a heart instead. And so then you might actually make three diamonds if South makes an aggressive Lebensal bid or something and competes. But
Yeah. Well, I mean, you'd be a hero there, but my goodness, on some
it
other
was
hands, you would be a goat.
also an interesting hand in the play in two hearts where West kind of knows where all the points are. And so the ace of diamonds is location of the ace of diamonds is kind of known.
Yep, because of the
So
no trouble
rather
overkill.
than taking a diamond finesse, the way that they can succeed and make the most number of tricks in this hand is actually to establish dummy's spade suit and use
Yeah.
them to throw the diamonds and just making sure you never let South in. And that's not going to be hard because South has a
South
terrible
has
hand.
nothing. Exactly.
Yeah, good chance ace of spades lead, and that's going to start your path. And then just recognizing that, hey, this isn't a hand where I want to take a diamond finesse and try to rough a diamond in dummy. But instead, this is a hand that I just want to set up dummy's 5-card spade suit, lots of club entries, the 10-9 of
Yeah,
hearts
you're
or
gonna
even
be so happy
entries.
when that jack of
Yeah.
spades falls Doubleton too. It's just an easy
Yes.
scoop.
Yes.
Lovely. All right, one more to go. Let's see it. Okay, back to the insanity. 2 passes and a club opening, which is the normal stuff. 18 points by East. You're not going to do anything different there. And then a perfect Michael's Cubid. Like, that's the Michael's Cubid you want to see in heaven there, right? 3 clubs, the normal raise of clubs. Notice West has gained a Cubid here. In fact, they've gained a couple of them. So I'm sure if you're an experienced partnership, you have ways to show different raises. And here, this is just a normal constructivist raise. 3 hearts by North, and then East. Well, let's give 3 a shot. It's going to produce.
Yeah,
an
you're a
interesting
little
play,
uncomfortable with Queen third of hearts, but you've got 18
Totally.
points. Like, what are you going to do?
Question is, what's South going to lead to 3-0 Trump here? It's pretty. This seems like a pretty normal auction, to be fair. At most tables, you're probably going to see something like this.
With the discomfort of East 3-0 Trump, I think that some people might be afraid to bid 3-0 Trump with Queen
Sure.
third of hearts, but it's the right thing to do, and this is why you're very often going to buy the Ace King hearts on your left.
Well, do you lead the 7 of hearts? Is the question.
I mean, yeah, the 7 of hearts looks pretty reasonable. You know that there's a stopper coming on your right, and you might as well let him have it right now. Yeah, you might lead the Ace of hearts to check out what's going on the hand.
Sure.
But either way, you're going to try to get your heart set up. So yeah.
So it's going to go 7 of hearts low.
Let's say it goes 7 of hearts lead to the Jack and
to
Queen.
the Jack
Now,
and Queen.
at this point in the hand, East kind of knows, like, okay, if I let them in, they're going to take 4 hearts and the Ace of Spades. So you need to take the club to successfully negotiate the clubs.
Yep.
And normally when you have 9, you would just 8 ever, 9 never. You cash the Ace King and hope they break 2-2.
But you know this player's 5-5 in the majors.
Yeah, so once they have 10 cards in the majors, the chances of them being short in clubs go up considerably. But there's such a beautiful thing on this hand that we can double check after we win the Queen of Hearts. All we need to do is bang the Ace Queen of Diamonds down.
Yeah.
And we'll see how many diamonds they follow to. And so that really will help
and
us
we're
really
maintaining our entry and dummy at the same time. And
yeah, for all we know,
yeah.
What if South had no diamonds?
Yeah, now we might know.
Then we might finesse them for the club. Exactly.
Yeah.
So like, just, you really want to get a read on the shape. Now you know South has 1 club, so you play a small club and hope it's an honor that pops up.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's the Jack.
And now we take what is almost a known finesse here.
Yes.
And we've maintained communication in dummy with that King of Diamonds. So we've blocked the suit in some way, but we haven't really blocked anything because there's our entry to dummy over there.
That's why we played the Ace Queen of Diamonds and left the King there.
Yep,
that was very
clarifying
key.
the issue. And here we should know that let that be also a lesson to you. Don't Michaels or make an unusual 2 bid without 5-5, right? And you may be revealing stuff, but just trust me, it's better this way. and
definitely, there's not I will never in my life make a Michaels bid with 5-4 or unusual 2-0.
No, I did it once with Andrew Rosenthal, and he nicely agreed to play with me again after going minus 1400. So that's my experience with it. It always makes partner look bad, folks. Don't do that. Gavin, you never make me look bad, buddy. Thanks for joining me for this one. We have 10 boards left, and then we'll be done with this instant match point game. We're through 1 through 20. The first one is prior to this. This one is now, and then we're going to do the next one shortly, folks. So join us for that. We'll see you back here. Thanks.